Alright, here we are back again for game turn 3. Like I said, we're just going to do recaps from now on. Listening to 2 hours of live play, probably not super exciting. So anyway, Evan and I got together and finished up turn 3 again in one night, mostly because, as I mentioned at the end of the last video, it was a contested turn since neither one of us scored VPs last turn. So without further ado, let me start going through here. Weather was overcast yet again. It's the third turn of overcast, I believe. So then I did some. Let me back up a little bit. I had identified that he has 6 naval SSM markers over here, which means he can only have 4 more over on this side. There's a line like right here where you have to set up 10 total markers on this side, 10 total markers on this side. Normally 5 are going to be real on each side, but the Iranian player has the choice of flip-flopping that, so you can have 6 on one side and 4 on the other. He chose to have 6 on this side. I found them all, so we know this is a dummy. He's leaving it on there in case I forget, which is entirely possible. So anyway, I was focusing my electronic detection efforts on this side of the map now. So I was pretty successful, actually, got 3 of them, so I know that of the ones that are left over here, there's only one real naval SSM marker. Evan chose to detect the, I guess I should zoom in here so you guys can see what's going on. I've got, what do we got going on down here? So 2 HQs are in Oman now, so he spent his electronic detection on those guys. I'm not sure what we were talking about there. But he did find them. So then we went to the air superiority phase. Let me transition over there so you can watch. A little bit of debate about, well, first, I forgot I had 1 AWACS advantage last turn, so he has to put his planes up first. And then there was a little bit of debate once everything was up there. He had a lot up there. He put 16 planes up. Once it started, he had a little bit of debate about how he was going to allocate, and as we talk about, it's kind of the game within the game, right? Do you take your crappy planes and mask the stealth planes or the better planes or whatever? At the end of the day, it is what it is, and we just lined them all up eventually and then started to resolve. A lot of guys aborted again. I think only 2 planes were downed, and they were both Iranians, and it was from this last set of planes here, which gave me some initial VP, which was cool. It ended up being air superiority because it was I think 13-4. So let's get out of that and transition back to the main map so you can see over here. Nope, sorry, down here we've set that to air superiority. And because I got air superiority, AWACS advantage is now 2. I'm going to zoom out a little bit again so I can see what's going on here. Let's see. Again, we were talking about, oh no, we're doing naval detection. He detected the AMPs in the Indian Ocean, which he can't strike because he does not have any Chinese cruise missiles, and the only way he can get to the Indian Ocean is with cruise missiles. Now, if his SAG was not in port, he might have been able to try that. For my allied SOF, we did a little bit of hemming and hawing and talking, and it turns out that your SOF is really good at raiding installations, and so I did some raids here, and the French failed to touch his detection track. Notice here his detection and SAMs are way up. The Allies are falling. He's been hitting it pretty hard. I ended up, let's see, the Mossad I think put a strike 2 on this one. The other US guy was there. He was trying to target and he failed. No, I'm sorry, he succeeded. My detection attempts here and here failed. And then that US SOF there also failed in his raid. So it was not so good. Evan, of course, only had 1 SOF, and he used it over here, I think, to no effect. So his strikes, he put strikes on the 2 HQs, and I blew away. I put a cruise missile strike on the air defense track that failed, but I blew away his SSM launcher with some missile strikes, and then he put some strikes on the HQs. I believe he flipped the 82nd HQ, which is why the strike marker is gone. Let's see, his airstrikes, my airstrikes. So I didn't have a lot of planes, as you could see. I put a bunch up into air superiority, which worked out in my favor. But so I'm still trying to work on the patrol boat track. But since my carriers are here, I can't use my naval air because they can't fly from the port in there. And actually, they only long range can fly from the Indian Ocean, so that would be bad anyway. So we've got an A-10 and an F-16 going in against the patrol boats here. We've got an F-15 Strike Eagle and a B-1B going here. And we have 2 stealth B-2s going in over here. And then these guys are escorted with some fighters. And then my Wild Weasels down here, which I think I need to keep going because I also escorted them. There we go. Evans got strikes against my detection and my SAM track, and I think that's it. He debated going after that HQ again, but ultimately decided not to because he didn't have enough guys to both escort and intercept if that worked out. So he did not detect the Wild Weasel. The Wild Weasel knocked his detection down 1, which, you know, still not great. He did not detect these guys. He did detect those guys with with regular ADF, and then he missed the stealth bombers entirely. So we resolved the A-10 and the F-16, ended up moving this down 1. These guys came in here. His SAMs had some effect so that I did nothing, basically. Oh, sorry, we resolved this over here. The B-2s completely missed that guy. I'm sorry, did not completely miss that guy. My bad. Destroyed that guy for another couple of VPs for me. The B-1B and the F-30 or F-15 completely missed this guy, sadly. So we'll have to take care of him next turn. But you notice I'm up to 8 VPs now. That was 4 total for the 2 air units that were destroyed, and then 4 total for the 2 SSM markers that were destroyed. His strikes were, again, insanely effective. The Allied air defense picture is really sad, but that's the way it is. I tried to move my SAG into the Gulf of Oman, but between the patrol boats being at a 2, sub-threat level difference being at a 2, and I believe he decided to expend a naval SSM. I could be wrong on that, but either way, it failed. I was not willing to take a strike to move in there. The only other thing, this carrier came out of the Diego Garcia for future operations. Let's see, and then I think he was doing a lot of moving. Again, contested turns, so not a whole lot happens. He was moving on some reinforcements and stuff. I was cleaning up some things. He was cleaning up some of the dudes that he had moved earlier. The rest of the 101st shows up. A new carrier shows up. A new carrier and a new AMP show up, which is cool. Which eventually will change. Yep. So you can see the ASW level has increased. So getting up there to start chipping away at that and maybe get into the Gulf of Oman. More Marines on that AMP. So there's bunch of Marines there, bunch of Marines there, bunch of Marines there. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I think the UK showed up with, the 16th UK Brigade and their helicopter here, although these air bases are currently unusable because they're currently under repair. I fully expect him to strike those next turn to keep them down, which, you know, it is what it is. That was pretty much it. We retconned. He had forgotten to move his SAG out during the movement phase, so we did that because he can. Not a contested move because I don't have anybody there and I don't control it. It's a contested move for me, even if it's not controlled, or he doesn't have any there because the patrol boat makes it automatically contested. He could also launch an SSM to make it contested. So that's pretty much it. He increased his detection track. I increased mine. He got a bunch of VP. For the patrolling facilities, I got my 8, and then we were ready for the next turn. That is it. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I think these recaps are a lot better and easy to digest. Got any comments or questions? Happy to hear them. And until next time, now next turn will be a full initiative, allied initiative turn, so probably be in 2 parts again because those just take longer to resolve. So, anyway, see ya.